for me. Not because they weren't behind and not because they weren't under pressure, but that was easily the game that they were losing the least that they've conceded. We've seen games where they were like 12,000 gold behind, where they were losing their tier 3s. I mean, then it's getting hard. But in this game, they had an anti-mage that just finished a Manta style, and then they conceded because they lost 2 or 3 heroes on the map. And one thing is that they concede, the other one is the way that they do it, where one guy calls GG, and then and left. This time, I know, this KIS is picking now.
Oh, you're right.
Just another layer on top of that, and it, you know, we can read as much into it as we want, and we can make theories about it, but the one thing I want to insist on is that something is definitely up. And what exactly it is?
Bulb is the only one that hasn't picked for them yet. Let's...
Yeah.
That'll put the cap on this for sure, as Bane is the first pick here.
Game 1 is over, Liquid lost. That means RoX.KIS. RoX.KIS. That's good. RoX.KIS are up 1-0, and that's really important to them, like we talked about before the match, because if they win this series by 2-0 or 2-1, they need to win the series against Fnatic by either 2-0 or 2-1. If they win 2-0 today, they can even give away a game to Fnatic, which is a really important buffer. So I think RoX.KIS definitely need to try to take this one 2-0. And
series that this is the best chance for them to go 2-0, because if you put a little bit of early aggression onto Team Liquid, if they're a little bit behind, they're just going to concede. At least that's how it's gone this tournament so far. So last game, perfect example of that.
This time around, we've got Liquid banning out Bristle and Invoker, so pretty standard top tier bans, and RoX.KIS are going to ban Tinker against Liquid, no surprise there, as well as the Naga. So Liquid are going to first pick Bane, because they feel like it's the best support in the pool, and RoX will get Lifestealer and complementary Vessel.
Needs to pick outside the box here, and you may think I'm crazy, but Bane Pudge combo, Synderen, it's pretty good. Pretty good, bro. I know they're not a big Pudge picking team, but I mean, I seriously feel they just need to pub this up. They just need to not care. They have nothing to lose at this point. So just pub it, man. Just pub it.
That's true. They could very well lose their sanity. I mean, it's... That last game was the start of it, I guess you could say, but we'll see what they do. They're gonna get the Beastmaster. I love this pick in general.
No,
it's not really. The thing is, Beastmaster is really not picked that often, and I don't get why. In my book, this hero is amazing. He gives incredible map control, does okay in lane, and it's just that BKB counter you always want to have on your team, and you're picking that against Lifestealer? Perfect. I mean, makes a lot more sense to me that it gets picked because the hero pool is more limited, so he gets better in a sense, but in Captain's mode as well, I don't get why this hero isn't picked. And I think
his best skill is Hawk, by far, and I think maybe one of the reasons, no, I'm not saying that's a bad thing, maybe one of the reasons he isn't picked is because you kind of have to play around the hero a little bit, because your playstyle is going to be a little bit different, considering that you can, I mean, you want to take advantage of the Hawk to the highest extent, so that may or may not include boots of travel on certain heroes that you're not used to getting it on.
I really don't think that's necessary to an extent. I feel like, I mean,
it adds insult to injury with that hero. I mean, that skill itself is broken if you just look at it by itself. You know what I mean?
Amazing. It's having vision, and that skill is completely independent on your gold, completely independent on your map position. You can always get vision out, you know. The way a lot of games are won and lost is just by having superior vision, and Beastmaster can always tip the scales in your favor and set up ganks. The boots of travel to me is just, you know, the icing on the cake. If you make a strategy with Tinker, it's absolutely absurdly sick, but it's not a requirement. He still has great pushing ability with the axes. He has one of the best ultimates against a single target in the whole game, because not only does it stun that target for what seems like an eternity, it also pushes away the surrounding heroes and slows them, so that hero is great. This is weird to say, because Liquid, you know, in this tournament they've gone through a lot of different stuff and they've had a lot of weird things. This is the first game in which KIS picks. I think this is Liquid's best. That's my opinion. And why? Because KIS, it seems he went in to this game with the mentality, alright, you know what guys, if there's one thing we can't afford, is not being able to fight. We pick loads of stuns, we pick aggressive lineups that just want to find kills. together, which is a great duo because Beastmaster really sets up the kills and you have to track. You have a great aggressive carry in Sven, and the supports can do stuff with Bane and Lion in the early mid game. So I love that for Liquid. I think they have a really good draft. As far as RoX.KIS goes, they have one of the strongest trial lanes in the game. Veno, Undying, and Gyro. If they choose to run that lane, it's really, really strong. And that's where Liquid needs to be careful.
They could run that with Lifestealer too if they wanted, which 3 slows.
No,
Gyro in the solo perhaps, but yeah, they can switch it up a bit. But like you were talking about, the Nake's bomb is there as well, so the initiation shouldn't be too big of an issue for RoX.KIS. But yeah, Liquid has a lot of CC, so that's going to be important. For sure. As Good Luck Captain comes out for TC, we're going to be going to the lineups here. RoX.KIS. Sadoy's going to be playing the Gyrocopter or Eurocopter, as some Greek people will probably like to say because Euros are delicious. Yol playing the Venomancer. Mid has Quap. So who the heck am I missing?
On the Undying? Yeah, he's slow a bit. I mean, if there's one hero you can, it's cool to be slow on, and just no, he's role playing Undying. He doesn't know what to buy yet. He's still thinking.
He wants to buy gummy worms or gummy vitamins.
What do you mean you don't have gummy vitamins? What kind of store is this?
Had gummy vitamins before? They're pretty good. You should try them. They don't have them in Euroland.
Good advice from a guy who always needs to take a shit before we cast because his bowels are dangerously
You know what's
damaged.
weird is today's the first day that wasn't the case, and I'm kind of worried about that actually. I'm not sure why that is.
The bad luck charm for Liquid today.
Sure, we can go with that logic, that's fine.
We're gonna get a new hashtag trending on Twitter, dump for Liquid. We've got Koikwa playing as the Bounty Hunter solo in the top lane. We will be Bulba playing in the mid lane as Beastmaster, and the off lane will be an aggressive trial lane by Team Liquid. It will be TC on the Sven, Way2 on the Lion, and Fluff on the Bane. So they're gonna run into what appears to start off at least as being a solo lifestealer who will not really be getting anything. And you know what? One more thing about Liquid. I think Beastmaster's like one of Bulba's best heroes. He's really good with it. That's what makes it even more surprising that we haven't seen them picking it so much. He plays a really good beast, and this hero is very strong in lane, surprisingly to some people perhaps, because with 58, and the damage isn't spread, so it's very reliable. He does 58 to 62 damage right now with the 2 branches he has. He has 5 armor. This hero has everything when it comes to stats. The only thing he doesn't have is a ranged attack, but he has the access for that. It's a really good hero and pushes lanes well with Inner Beast 2 to get the runes.
Dying is going to attempt to gank, hasn't picked up a skill level at this point, but Bubble sees it coming and will back up as a result. He's so slow, he hasn't picked his skills yet.
It's like in the Dota 2 reporter, the Pudge was like standing there and then he's thinking for 20 seconds, there's like missing middle.
Good reference, bro. Sadoy is going to be soloing Koikoi, and I think this is going to end up being a tri-lane that I thought was going to start with for RoX.KIS. And this is going to help them quite a bit. They have tons and tons of slows with the open wounds and Venomancer Gale, which actually probably the 2 best level 1 slows in the game. But Liquid's actually switching it up now. It's TC, TP's top.
On here, they thought RoX.KIS were going to do it because they have a sick tri lane. Whenever you pick Undying, there's a trigger in your mind that says aggressive tri lane, because this hero is great for 3-on-3s, but not so good for 3-on-1s, and that's why Liquid just went 3 on the off lane, and we're like, okay, they're probably aggressing us, which they were, and then RoX.KIS didn't get what they came for. They wanted to rotate and counter the armor of Liquid, and then, well, Liquid just mix it up as well then.
Lane Gale. Reach. Full Impale, now it's going to hit 1. Nightmare. Actually, Bane hasn't even leveled anything yet, so everybody's just being very conservative. His top lane, Sadoy, doing a lot of damage with the Rocket Barrage, but he's going to be forced out thanks to the 2v1 situation there. And this game is all about rotations right now. Most people haven't even gotten experience yet. All level 1, essentially. I mean, look at this. Actually, Lion is level 2. That's surprising.
Mid from Bulba there, I think, on that gank. But as far as this early game goes, it's slightly favoring RoX.KIS, I guess, in terms of golden experience, because they got a little bit more out of the lanes. The Queen is winning mid by a bit against Beastmaster, which is expectable, and Sven and Lifestealer are pretty much tied, but RoX.KIS having the gyro offlane here, like this, is gonna backfire pretty hard unless if the Lifestealer gets a really good game out of it. So the reason that is that Liquid have amazing Lifestealer killers. They have the Bane and they have the Beastmaster, so getting farm on that hero is deceptively irrelevant in this game, because they can really counter him hard, and Sven even does a good job against Lifestealer. He hits so hard that he can actually win the fist fight, which almost no other hero can in this game.
Let's see fist fight. Sadoi pulling some creeps to his advantage here, getting a little bit more XP. He's level 4, so he's, as far as levels are concerned, he's doing perfectly fine in that lane, despite it being a 1v3 now. Lifestealer, though, as we talked about, 13 and 9 in the creep department compared to the 16 and 4 for TC, so overall relatively even in that department. Mid lane, though, is what we're really going to be focusing on, because Battle Crow as Yol going to get caught out. Janata's going to hit. TC's going to pop his war cry. He's going to be in range now. That nice Gale, but beautiful blocking from Koika. Yol still only level 1 though. Stormbolt to follow. This is a kill one way or another. Janata should slow him down enough. And actually enough to actually kill him.
Blocked by Koika. It's beautiful.
No move speed as well, right? But yeah, obviously very well done.
No, I think, well, wait, they weren't really. Both Koikva and the Venomancer had boots, so yes, Koikva has a move speed advantage, but still, that was really good. He's going to snatch the rune from Solo, going to force out a blink here as well by to just take 3 hits. He's just stubborn. No, I do not want to blink.
Really, this is really important, because Queen of Pain typically is the rune controller, and just not the case so far. Force the Bottle Crow, which of course means slower item progression, slower. I mean, he can push the lanes a little better than Beastmaster, unless Beastmaster go for his aura. Sadoi getting stunned, but there's a Gale to follow. Way 2's taking the brunt of it, though, as there's the Rocket Barrage, trying to be forced upon the hero and not the creeps, and this will actually force out a TP from Goblik. But looking at the Beastmaster build, he did get one in Inner Beast, so that's going to help push the lanes a bit, as forced up by Koiko, who's level 3 and just roaming already. A roaming level 3 bounty hunter.
Yeah. And this is something that we need to keep in mind as well about Beastmaster. He is one of the heroes in the game that has the most kill potential in level 6 because of his own burst damage. The Primal Roll deals 200, then you've got the Wild Axes, which do massive damage, which is, by the way, Composite, one of the very few abilities that does composite damage. So any sort of rotation...
Composite.
Right? I mean, it makes sense to call it that, the way it works.
Mixed? I preferred that, personally.
I don't know.
Composite.
Second harassment, but look at the Queen of Pain. So, Queen of Pain is a hero with low base armor and low base health. So any sort of gank rotation from Liquid onto Bulba's lane is just a kill. It doesn't have to be the Beastmaster moving. Just any hero moving onto his lane is going to set him up. And you have something like a Bane and a Lion as supports. Lion and Beastmaster together easily deal with the Queen of Pain. We might actually see that exact thing happening right now. Veno is there to help out. He's not going to help. If they get the Raw on Solo, he's dead, and then they can just run. The Bulba's thinking about it.
He needs them. He's actually going to run into Way 2 and actually pops his Tombstone and a double decay. It's so much burst time from Solo, but of course he doesn't have enough mana for his ultimate. There's the Gale to follow. Way 2 getting really low. At least a couple people are going to die in this game, you would think, because the Tombstone is still up after all is said and done. Axe is not able to finish them off. Zeus needs to come, but Koika is here. He's going to get a Janata. Boom, shakalaka. Of course, I said Zeus because, well, anytime anybody's low, I think, Zeus ultimate, please!
Because you also played Dota 1? Right. Yeah.
Absolutely.
That was a sick soul rip from Goblik there. That just saved the whole fight. And he actually has it on level 2. That's the reason Queen of Pain survived. So, the skill build from Goblik really working out there, and it's initiated upon instead of the ones initiating. I think they hesitated too long on the Queen of Pain, and eventually Undying came in from the side there and set it up. But they get a 1-for-1 out of that in total, and the rotation from RoX.KIS, they committed a lot to that for a one-on-one. That's not really the best trade you can have, but disaster.
Has level up 2 in Nightmare. Sadoi, though, taking the ultimate from TC. You see the red X's flying left and right, which actually... Wait, you saw that too, right?
Copter is fall down, and they blew up in his face instead. I have no idea. I don't know when that happens. I think it's generally cosmetics, right?
I'm not missing a kill. Lifestealer gets a kill on the BH. I wanted to mention that the Midas versus Treads is going to be the case for Sven versus Lifestealer. What do you think about that?
this is, you know, when we reach the mid-game stage here, the Lifestealer, like I said, he really needs to get big to be able to fight up against this lineup. So I think it's the right choice for BZZ. He needs to be so incredibly farmed that the enemy team will, even though they have these double great ultimates against him, they'll still have a hard time dealing with it. So I think the Midas route for him is correct. I also agree with TZ's choice of not getting one, because when it comes to their lineup, they just have such an explosive early mid-game where Sven with a Midas does not contribute as much as just having early cost-effective items. I think we're going to maybe see him get a drum, maybe see him get a blink even, just so they can be super aggressive all over the map and lock down RoX. And speaking of aggression, they're smoking in toward the mid lane. Not sure they're going to find anyone though. He's level 6 now, by the way, on the bounty. That's a big breaking point for Team Liquid.
Look closely on the minimap as I explain this. The red X is actually, we have a smoke gang, so this is gonna happen. Bulba has his ultimate, of course. He's gonna roar the illusion! Oh no! And even an Impale is using a Sonic Wave to finish off Bane! Oh, I'm so sad for Liquid right now, but I can't stop laughing.
When those ganks happen on illusions and you mess it up, you're just like, oh god, it wasn't the right hero. And then you're like, oh well, we missed a kill. They lost the hero as well. That wasn't just an illusion bait. They even lost the Bane. Amazing play from Solo here to execute that. Liquid just fell right for it. The X's on Gyro. When I click on his cosmetics, I think it's cosmetic related. Those X's.
Sven. Sven was the red X's. I'm almost positive. Well, I know. Okay, so this is the only thing that I can explain because I don't know how it would affect this game. But as top lane, of course, I can't be able to explain it. TC taking Rocket Barrage. Gale is gonna miss though, and store both the ball. This is probably gonna force everybody out. But the Tombstone is actually placed as a defensive measure. Skoika and TC are gonna have to kill that before engaging, and this is gonna break things up. As far as my items are concerned, anything that I have that is a self-made item, it's like a specialty item, right? You can't even put gems in my, like if you have a workshop item that you put in yourself, like our Sven or our Pudge or our Invoker, it's a self-made item. You can't put gems in it.
Have that, does he?
No, that's the thing. That's what's weird about it. So I get those red X's all the time. Like when I spawn, red X's, and then if I come out of Fog of War, every single time I come out of Fog of War, the enemy sees the red X's. So they know when I'm... It's like a big... Hey guys, I'm fucking here, bro. As Fluff is going to use his ultimate here on RoX.KIS. But, and actually Brainsight's going to keep him alive. That's really surprising. Solo's going to take a stun to the face thanks to TC. He has a blink and will be forced out. Is this gonna... No kills are actually going to occur here as Track is placed upon BZZ. Don't think it's going to be enough to follow suit though. So despite there being a lot of engagement, no deaths there.
What do you get when you click Gyro and click his cosmetics? Do you also have like a blue box in the bottom right?
Yeah, that's weird. That's odd.
Hell is that?
Oh, but he doesn't have any items equipped though, so.
It's hidden Half-Life 3 item.
Half-Life 3 confirmed, there's blue!
Blue box in Gyro's inventory and X's everywhere. Yeah. I'm sure some people would love to call that a confirmation. I've seen worse confirmations of that, to be honest, so wouldn't really be surprised. But yeah. Anyway, that's enough about that. That was a really weird bug. Koikva is getting in position up top. He's really does get hit by the Gale, and he's dusted, and he's gonna die.
Rock Barrage is so beastly. He's going to try to deny himself to the creeps. He does not, though. They do not comply. As Gyrocopter gets the last hit, Beastmaster just clearing out the trees because he is racist against trees, apparently. This top lane have... Good lord! Queen of Pain, so much burst damage, along with Undying, able to take out the poor Sven.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
When is the concede coming? Like, even if they're ahead, I'm expecting a concede, you know, it's Fluff. Positioning, but a nice job by Solo. Not going to save Godlike in the end though because the Impale is there. Keep himself alive just a bit longer. Will die the Gale though. There's from Solo. Doesn't have his ultimate. He's going to take a finger to the face. There's the Gyrocopter ult though. Along with Rocket Barrage. Should be the death of Bulba. The Impale to follow. Actually, no. One hit away. Not going to get it. He's going to bottle up Sadoy. He's getting gripped from Fluff, whose ultimate just came off cooldown. And now Yol, with absolutely no mana to speak of, is going to get stunned and eventually slowed by the Janata. And that is going to be an eventual death. He gets off the Gale though, as Fluff going to get soloed down by BZZ.
Amazing exchange here for Liquid. As BZZ actually continuing the pursuit here. Yeah, he can feel confident. He has drums and the Midas, so he's pretty strong here. Koikva has to get out of there, but great turnaround from Liquid there. I was surprised, you know, the Undying got nightmared and then Queen of Pain took it off. I thought Liquid were just going to go and kill the Queen of Pain there with the Roar. But then they went for the Undying without using the Roar, and for some reason Queen of Pain thought she could recommit to that fight, and then instantly gets Roared and Finger of Death. I mean, he just disappeared. That's all there is to say to that. But actually, they know there's a sentry.
Oh my god. Sonic Wave is not
We're getting
up.
pursued here.
So not going to be able to burst him down as of yet, but this tower is donezo. And looking at the net worth, Lifestealer is so far ahead of anybody. Top 3 farmers in the game. And you're talking about how Lifestealer had to get off to a really good start as far as farm is concerned, and he's done just that. With his Midas coming off cooldown in 2 seconds. Perfect timing.
A lot of farm here. I think he might die now, though, because there's a Roar and a Grip in 5 seconds. He's going to walk right into way too, yeah. So good.
Fine. He's fine.
Your Midas, it makes up for dying. No problem.
Lost 300 gold, but of course he made 180 with the Midas. Or 190, yeah, that's right. So, only loses a little bit over 100 gold, so, you know, not the worst case scenario for him.
For 45 seconds as well, who cares?
Madness. So going for the very greedy.
You know, even though Liquid are behind by 5,000 gold, I don't feel like this is a 5,000 gold game right now. A lot of it is that they've lost 2 towers, so the amount of gold they can claim around the map and the potential their lineup has right now, I think they can easily fight. They have the Blink Dagger and Beastmaster, they have King's Grip. Aw, TC needs to get the hell out of there. Quick Mask of Madness pop. And runs out. And Liquid are going to stop their push at the bottom. This tower is probably going to get deniable. The question is if... I actually think it won't. Unless if they let it. Alright, they're gonna try to let it. And they will let it.
Way2's gonna suck off a little neutral creep here, but oh boy. Solo stuck. Hardcore. Blinks up in 1 second, but there's the Finger, there's the Sheep, there's the Death. Tombstone not available as of yet. As there's the Grip on Yol. Again, Rocket Rod's gonna not be able to kill Way2. As there we see the red X's, that is definitely on TC. Oh my god, the Nakes Bomb. That was
ice cold by BZZ to use it when he did. That was like 0.1 second on the TP. Beautiful timing from him. 2 for 1. Liquid got a couple of track kills though, so even more in their favor. Maybe RoX.KIS just forgot about it now.
After that, so I'm sure they'll come back to it eventually. But
look like it.
Could actually just go finish it off if he wants to.
To hit it like 4 or 5 times, so it's a little bit scary.
Assuming, okay, no. Okay, maybe they did forget about it. Rip from Sadoy's Reach, who's almost done with a BKB. Just a recipe away, about 600-700 gold away from that. Tombstone's place, looks like Tier 1 Tower is the perfect choice. As there is Nakes initiating on a Fluff, who is dead, just like that. Nightmares himself to stay alive, but it's not going to prevent the death as this tower. Here, Yol, as far as Team Liquid is concerned. Yol is here though, coming through the river. And it doesn't look like that's going to be the case.
The problem is that the Tombstone's in a really good position and it's a level 4 Tombstone, so Liquid are going to have a really hard time bringing it down. And when Bane is down like that and they have the map position that they're in with Lion all the way up top with low mana, they really couldn't do that. And brute forcing here, which makes sense, I guess. They have Undying, of course, and they have a level 2 Queen of Pain ultimate ready. They're really strong right now. The Liquid need to get a good sort of flanking initiation here, or at least defend their tower with wild axes or something like that to not lose the tower. And finally, all that's going to show his face here and terribly force RoX.KIS away, while Lion is doing damage top.
Lifestealer doesn't really care about anything as he has Infest up his sleeve. TC pops his Warcry to get out, but he wasn't really in any real danger. It's the entire team for RoX.KIS is here, and as you talked about, this top tower. He has a TP though, so he can come anytime he wants. Quite good, placing another track in place. What do you think about the Ags being worked upon on Bulba? What do you think of Ags on Beastmaster in general?
The cooldown reduction is sick, taking it down to 45 seconds, and the cast range is insane. And when you look at the stats it gives for Beastmaster 2, it's really good. An all-round good item for Beastmaster who I feel like generally he doesn't really need any specific item. That's also a nice thing about the hero. He's very flexible in what he gets. I think what I would have personally got here would be a mech for their team, because I think Liquid really needs that with the teamfight-oriented style RoX.KIS is playing. And zone them out like this, the Axe is going to be an amazing choice. Very soon.
As they're just going to continue pressuring this bottom lane. There's the Infest in solo.
Getting in.
But they see that with the Hawk. So the question is...
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
So of course still has the BKB up his sleeve, and it's a 10-second one, I think. Yes, indeed. And...
with Hawk. I mean, you keep finding the heroes and then you just track them up. And it's hard for RoX.KIS to initiate here. The one thing Liquid need to do now is they need to jump in and kill the Queen of Pain instantly. I think if they want to go for something like that. Koifut gonna dodge the Gale.
They didn't do anything about it. Grip's gonna be placed on DC taking a Sonic Wave. In fact, 3 people hit by the Sonic Wave. As Liquid's gonna be dropping like flies. Bulba will be dying here. As Bounty Hunter's the only one. Is an ultra kill on Sadoy. No, it's gonna be a rampage! Why would you go in? Could this be the GG? A little bit premature, but I just feel it. I constantly feel it with Team Liquid. I'm always on edge, Synderen.
I mean, if he trades one-on-one, one-for-one for a track kill, it's not too bad. But you're right, that was a little bit of a questionable re-engage. But I think the only thing is the fact that they knew what was going to happen. They saw the Infest, like you said, or at least they should have known that he was infesting into the Queen of Pain. They had vision of that Queen of Pain for a very long time. Liquid could have chosen to try to go on the aggressive and bring down the Queen of Pain instantly. And if they do that, without all the AoE damage from Queen of Pain, maybe they would have had a chance at that fight. If not, they definitely need to spread out more. They were all clumped together behind the tower instead of being spread out, so they could maybe flank with a ganking hero, or do some sort of two-front battle. When they all stack up like that against a team with Call Down, Sonic Wave, Tombstone, and Poison Nova, there's only one way that fight is going to go, and we saw it right then. Pretty much ahead. That's another point. They just have way more gold because of their tower kills and their farm in general. So I think Liquid just needs smarter initiation.
Track. Ups his rage and Infest, actually. And he's going to try to drum out of here. His teammates are on the way. In fact, Bane's going to use his grip. Is this going to be enough damage? They don't have too much burst damage. Tombstone's going to be placed. Lifestealer's fine thanks to the heal. But the question is Liquid fine? No! Koifut gets dusted and galed and will die. And I wanted to mention this, that they have a good initiation from Liquid from Bulba, as he's going to follow suit into death. Follow-up damages. There's the GG well played. Again. I mean, this...
They just gave up. You could tell that those last moves were just complete desperation. Like, we were sitting here and we were sure Bane and Bounty Hunter together couldn't get